I want to thank you very much because you invited to me in Mexico to fly from the other part of the world to bring you all my love.
My humble vision of a better world is peace all over the world, love for all the creatures on this planet, first of all to God, justice, then cooperation between nations, and that will be through two channels. A unity language and a world without border.
We'll be able to travel around the world with a global passport, and where business will serve society rather than society serving the almighty masterful God of money.
There is place for all of us. There is food for all of us. There is air and sun and love for all of us. And why try we take to each away from each other what is enough for all of us?
A world without hunger, a world without famine, a world without hate, a world in which there will only be love for all, irrespective of color, race or creed, or wherever they may come from. In a world where everyone will be at home anywhere in the world.
The 11th of February 1989 was a significant day for world peace. The International Conference on Global Cooperation for a Better World, attended by over 2,000 key professionals the world over, was inaugurated by lighting the traditional lamp. An atmosphere of joy, peace, and tranquility pervaded, heralding the dawn of a new era. Educationists, scientists, lawyers, film actors, politicians, and decision makers were among others attending a number of creative workshops aimed at a better world through respect, love, and cooperation. Speaker after speaker made an impassioned plea for bringing about peace through clear vision and positive attitude, and stressed the need to change the world through will and determination. The conference, held in the picturesque surroundings of Mount Abu, called for a new foundation for civilization, bereft of clashes and conflicts.
छोटा मुख बड़ी बातें करते, परंतु मैं कहती हूँ विश्व कौन सी बड़ी चीज है। जब विश्व पिता के हम बच्चे हैं तो विश्व हमारे साथ है, हम विश्व के साथ है और हम सभी ही उनके
Dadi Prakash Mani, President and head of Brahma Kumaris, says, "We are a global family, and the things that link us together surpass all those that separate us. The world is made up of 5 continents. The universe is composed of 5 elements: air, water, sky, earth, and fire. And when our hands come together with respect, love, and cooperation, we can create a better world."
कहा जाता 5 में परमेश्वर.
She goes on to add, that today there is fear of the atom bomb in this world. And the thing that banishes this fear is Atma, the soul. If only we could change atom into Atma.
तो अपने आत्मक राज्य पर रहो तो जो भी बाकी दुनिया के भय है वे मिट जाएंगे. इतना ही थोड़ी भाषा बदल देवे. दुनिया में भय है एटम का और मैं कहती हूं अब भय करने वाला है आत्मा. वो है एटम, ये है आत्मा.
That you must know that you are divine, indestructible soul, imperishable, eternal. But also that that is true of every other person in the whole world. And that is the basis for global cooperation. It's not merely survival. We're not doing this simply because the world is in a mess. We are here to talk about a better world because that is the very essence of who we are as souls of God's children. We are peace. We are love. We are justice. We are God's peace and love in the world. That's who we are. And that's why we want to cooperate for a better world.
I would prefer to call it the Everest Declaration from Mount Abu. Never before in the history of mankind has there been a spiritual charge, a powerful appeal, not merely in terms of temporizing, compromising, material adjustments, balance of terror, balance of power and things like that. Your armies, my armies, are they likely to be equal? What will you do if we have a treaty? What friendship shall be evolved between us? All kinds of strategies, military strategies, material strategies. These were the basis of many of the projects in the past. Now comes a new era in mankind, a dawn. I think therefore this world today requires a perestroika, a spiritual perestroika, a restructuring of our thinking, a revolution in thinking. Man has got mummified, he has got, benumbed in his brain. He requires to have a new thinking.
हमें याद है कि पिताश्री हमको कहते थे ब्राह्मण जीवन के डिक्शनरी में असंभव शब्द है ही नहीं. तो असंभव जब शब्द ही नहीं है, संभव ही संभव है, तो हम क्या नहीं कर सकते. इसीलिए अवश्य हम सब मिल करके ईश्वरी कार्य में, अभी भी शिव बाबा ने हमको जो संदेश दिया, तो बाबा ने कहा कि जो अपना इस सहयोग में हाथ बढ़ाते हैं वो मेरे राइट हैंड हो जाते हैं, प्रभु के राइट हैंड. तो आप सोचिए जब हम परमात्मा के राइट हैंड हो जाएंगे और उसी स्मृति में उसी शक्ति से काम करेंगे तो क्या मुश्किल होगा.
Before I sit down, I'd like to share one phrase that has become very real and very meaningful to me, and that is, anything is possible, even the impossible.
Above all, a better world requires better men. Men who are not only knowledgeable, but also possess the virtues of compassion, contentment, tolerance, fellow feeling, and non-accusativeness. These virtues transcend the limits of time and space. Today the values enshrined in these virtues are all the more needed as the dividing line between need and greed, the dividing line between need and greed is getting increasingly blurred. and a man is judged not by what he is, but what he has.
It seems to me that this project of global cooperation seemed to be doing two things with those barrels of good and rotten apples. The first and pretty obvious is that the project will attract the good apples, and so the good apples will be separated from the rotten apples. But in my mind, this project does a lot more than that. For even if the seed only from the rotten apples can be recovered, there is still hope, for out of that seed a new tree can be planted, and not one apple but many good apples will come out of it. And so we are indeed looking at a project with tremendous scope and potential for creating goodness and a better world.
That in fact there should be no poverty, no famine, or any of the evils which we know that are omnipresent. And yet even though the world does possess all these resources, all things are available, we still see that the majority of the population of the world doesn't eat properly every day, isn't properly clothed, doesn't have the shelter over the head which they should really have. And so it really creates a question in our minds as to why this situation is happening. And very simply, I think we can say that many world bodies, many governments, the United Nations, perhaps for a long time, but it's becoming more and more obvious that in fact it's a lack of cooperation between governments and agencies throughout the world.
I can only say at this point that we have endeavored to present at this stage the vision of many of those who have taken a position on the project. We have tried to map out principles of cooperation, and we have expressed our commitment and determination. But I want to say that it is not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy because this is a very, very long struggle. In fact, it's a struggle which has been going on for centuries.
But even the vision, wonderful, inspiring, beautifully worded, though it is, even the vision is not enough. We have the vehicle, we know where we want it to arrive, but how are we to get there? How are we going to bridge the gulf? And it is a gulf, a chasm, between today's world, about which we have heard so much, and the better world for which we strive and to which we are now committed. It doesn't happen by declaring it to happen. It doesn't happen by dictatorial decree. It doesn't happen even, and I hate to say it, but it doesn't happen even by hope or by prayer alone.
First and foremost, we must cooperate with the nature itself, the environment itself. I think that's what I think we are going wrong in this present era of technological change. The modern man, in his pursuit of technological excellence, I think wants to compete with nature, compete with the world, wants to command nature. Whereas I would think that our Vedic culture had came to peace with the nature. We came to terms with nature. We worshipped it in a totality of God's presence. And I do believe that if the world is to be a better place to live in for everybody, we do need to find an answer to this modern mad rush for material progress, forgetting that we are part of God's great will and great design.
People were simply awakened, were invited to do something. They realized that they don't need to work in isolation. They can work together. And then there is an opportunity to work together. And that this opportunity brings this enormous variety of ideas, of proposals. And I'm very glad to see that the Global Cooperation Project was exactly born on this foundation, on this awareness of a need of a joint action.
Better environment, better health, better education, better human rights for everybody. We can only pursue them. We can only achieve them if we survive. And the survival of mankind is not guaranteed. Every year the United Nations passes resolutions, about 60 or 70 resolutions, on various aspects of the arms race. About 700 or 800 resolutions must have been passed since the United Nations was created in 1945. But it is not a better world. We must pursue. We must bring about disarmament.
What is novel about our particular program here is that here we are thinking on a global scale. We are thinking not just of each of our particular worlds, but of the world of all mankind. And we are seeking to better this world through spiritual efforts. This is what makes this program, or these two aspects, what make it unique.
It is called the Mount Abu Declaration. And may I just expand those letters and give a meaning which I am sure you will agree with me. Mount, of course, refers to, let us mount a campaign. And that is what we are now addressing ourselves to. Abu, to me, signifies amity of spirit, beauty of soul, and unity of life. That is how Mount Abu becomes so significant. And this campaign is for promoting amity of spirit, beauty of soul, and unity of life. What is a better world? A better world is a richer world in terms of spirit. It is a healthier world in terms of our soul satisfaction. It is a saner world in regard to our jnana. It is a humaner world in regard to our spiritual realization. So a better world is a richer world, a brighter world, a happier world, a healthier world, a saner world, and a humaner world.
We know that it's not always easy to turn visions into reality, but if we don't have that vision, how can we bring about a change? And in our declaration, we look at the people's vision, a reverence for life, an environment clean, fresh, and green, respect for the dignity and integrity of every human being. Human beings that should be healthy, content in spirit, mind, and body, fed with food, sheltered and watered, at peace with themselves, with love, respect, understanding in all their human relationships, loving, caring, fulfilling, in harmony, and tolerance, with freedom of expression, movement and action, with trust, with understanding, with friendship for all. Doing this, recognizing the importance of justice, of openness with each other, of honesty, and a sense of responsibility. All those words are found in our vision in the Declaration. And we say in our concluding words, we say that we have certain beliefs. We call on the peoples of the world to unite and cooperate with each other to create a better world. We pledge our support for the principles and objectives of the United Nations. We believe that the era of negative thinking and confrontation, which has given rise to the arms race and the consequent waste of economic resources, must end. We must overcome the apathy and the inertia, which often is our greatest enemy. And we can only overcome it with courage and with steadfast hope. We, as individuals, as groups, are instruments of peace. And let us be those instruments of peace in shaping our own destiny and resolving to bring into reality a better world, not just for ourselves, but for all.
राजयोग पतवार से हम